Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have some rather interesting news specifically on XRP and Ripple, because something just happened in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit that all of you guys need to be made aware of. Now, for me, it happened in the middle of the night, I think at around 4 a.m., but here is the news. Ripple's motion to exclude, and let me actually make this big screen for y'all's. Ripple's motion to exclude expert number 1 from testifying is granted, right? That was just done. As to his first opinion about the perceptions of a reasonable XRP purchaser and denied as to the remainder of his testimony. That was just said by Judge Torres. Now try and tell me XRP holders don't make a difference. As again, they stepped in. Somebody asked, hey, John, does this give any suggestion or hint to the remaining time till summary judgment finishes, basically? And John Dean says, I seriously doubt that we see significant delay from here. Could be tonight or in a couple weeks. And people, of course, take this out of proportion by saying, oh, John Dean, a very well-known lawyer in the community, says it could be over tonight. So it might be over tonight. And the thing is, this lawsuit has been dragging on for a long time. We all know it, and I'd say that the majority of us are tired of it and hope for it to be over. But I'd say that's always a double-edged sword. The moment it's over, you might never be able to buy yourself some cheap XRP. Then again, the moment it's over, crypto regulation has a new basis in the US, which is huge, and our portfolios will pump. So that's obviously a very nice idea. Anyway, there's also Jeremy Hogan, who had some interesting words on the matter. As again, this was breaking news a little while ago, and you can see the amount of eyeballs on the XRP case here. About 800,000 views in like half a day. You can see it was posted at around 4 a.m. Dubai time. Now, as we move on, Fred said, very, very hot take. This is much worse for the SEC than Ripple. Ripple did take a few losses though, right? So what are we talking about here? Breaking, the judge issues a ruling on parties' motions to preclude expert testimony. And let's see what Jeremy Hogan had to say about this situation. Now, before we do that, I should quickly tell you guys something. There's actually a couple of very big things that I'm doing, and a couple of them include some major giveaways. Now, one is a $1,000 giveaway that I'll be announcing, I think, tomorrow. We're just basically giving away $1,000, but I've been doing this on multiple different occasions. Usually it involves signing up to a platform though. So tomorrow, again, I'll explain everything you need to hear about it, but just understand that usually when I partner up in some of these ways, it's a little bit easier because the platform wants to give you something, if you understand my drift. I mean, let's say, for example, hypothetically speaking, that Twitter shows up and says, hey, you want to do a giveaway for your community. Would you be interested? Well, why would I say no, right? And that's the case sometimes. Point being, tomorrow I'm going to announce for you guys a $1,000 giveaway. Stay tuned. It's going to be pretty exciting. And just make sure you press that like button all the time, guys. I keep looking for the best ways to get you guys going because, again, remember, the way I started my entire crypto journey is through a giveaway. So those are awesome, I'd say, which is why I try to do them as many times as possible. Jeremy Hogan had this to say. The SEC has to prove that you had a reasonable expectation of profits from Ripple's efforts. And the judge just struck the SEC's only expert witness on that specific subject, on this proving of expectations of profit. So now, how the heck can the SEC prove reasonable reliance? Who will testify for that? Just thinking out loud. And John Dean, well, we just saw his opinion on the matter already, but what Jeremy says right here was a pretty hot topic. Because people got thinking, like, damn, Jeremy, you're right. Well, I hate to answer my own question, but apparently the judge thinks that expert number 3's opinion as to Ripple's incentives and actions to influence the XRP price is relevant to the issue of reasonable expectation of profits, but seems fairly weak sauce to me. Long story short, what was concluded here? The judge basically said, hey, some of these experts that were witnessed, they're not so good, all right? So we're not going to use them. And these experts were in this expert discovery phase where both parties go in and gather as much information as possible from experts on the field. But Ripple looked at the SEC and said, hey, there's something kind of shady going on right there. The point is, however, Ripple tried to take a lot of this stuff down, and the judge ended up not taking everything down. Here it says again, lastly, the court rejects Ripple's argument that expert number 3, let's quickly make this the big screen, that expert number 3's opinions are irrelevant and unfairly prejudicial. Expert number 3's testimony about defendants' incentives, of Ripple's incentives, and actions to influence the XRP price is directly relevant to the fact finder's determination about whether purchasers of XRP reasonably expected profits derived from Ripple's efforts. The last element of the Howey test for an investment contract. The probative value of this relevant testimony is not substantially outweighed by the potential unfair prejudice to defendants. Accordingly, defendant's motion to preclude expert number 3 from testifying is denied. Point being, we got some good news, we got some bad news. This is right smack in the middle. After being done with the video, I think it's actually important to note one more thing here. I put it over on my Twitter, but what this entire ruling is basically about is all these different experts that the SEC wanted to testify and that Ripple wanted to testify, and both of these sides are basically attacking one another, saying, hey, I don't think your expert is good enough to be on there because he's talking crap, and vice versa. And here is the result. Now, this result is very superficial because it does not reflect the importance of any one of these decisions. You see Ripple from testifying, Ripple to remainder, SEC from testifying, and SEC to the remainder, with all the different experts, these ones being from the SEC, these ones all being from Ripple. Logically, because, well, Ripple's ones are named and the SEC ones are not, which is also kind of part of the previous problem we talked about. But so then you understand kind of a little bit better what's going on and why this is not a pure victory for Ripple, but absolutely it's a victory because percentage wise and, well, for the fact that I'd say this hurts the SEC more than it hurts Ripple. I've also had a lot of questions about the XRP price, what we're thinking, and why the price is moving in a strange fashion. Because as a couple of you guys might have noticed, XRP is actually performing very strange in comparison to Bitcoin. But right now, as it currently stands, we are looking for another juicy breakout. Anyway, in regards to the XRP price, one thing we've noticed is a very interesting falling wedge right here. Now, to be extremely bullish, we'd like the near term for the XRP price in this sense to be quite bullish. And obviously, if we take a look, well, ever since November rolled around, which is already months and months now, I'd say it's almost like 5 months, right? It's actually been that way, which is peculiar because when you zoom out and look at XRP, I don't think anybody's going to tell you, oh, that's an extremely bullish chart. But if you really zoom in and actually take this on a 4 hour or so, it's a significant amount of time that we've actually tried to reach higher prices. And then for about half that time or so, we've just been within this falling wedge right here as it started all the way at the end of January. So about a month and a half already that it's been moving this way. Now, within a falling wedge, usually our entry in this one is a little bit strange because we've had such a crazy wick. If we exclude that one specific wick, things change a little bit. Anyway, usually what we do is we look at the start of this major move, which supposedly could be right here on the 9th of November, but let's take our most recent move here towards the upside, which had a dip at around 30 cents over on the 2nd of January. We take our highest point, which is right there on January 23rd, and then we try to place our entry at the 0.618 Fibonacci, which is right here at roughly 35 cents. You can see we got slightly above that for an entry at 35.2 cents if we actually followed our scheme, followed our plan. And opening the position right there would have right now resulted in about 7.2% profit already. That's just one part of the deal. But in theory, we are not having to open it just quite yet until we break out, get ourselves some confirmation. And at that point, we're going to be taking ourselves a juicy amount of profit. I've already said our minimum here in terms of what we're looking for is a move towards 40 cents as a minimum, because it's only the moment that we break above that we're out of this whole like testing zone here, this entire zone of just resistance that we've been haggling with for the past couple of months. What we're looking for is a breach of 40 cents with some confirmation. hopefully within one bigger move, one fell swoop, hopefully a little bit along the lines of this. Once we see that, oh my days, this is going to be a huge move towards like 50 cents or somewhere along those lines, along the 200 weekly moving average, along with these previous resistances. So for right now, all we're looking for is a nice little bullish entry as things are looking quite bullish. And as I said, a lot of the news regarding XRP is also quite bullish, and we've seen a lot of strange things happen like crazy account creation. And I didn't actually input this today. I'm not sure what this line is from. I'm expecting it might be our high from a good while ago. Not exactly sure what this line was supposed to represent or why it's actually in here. I did not draw this in today, but it's interesting to see how we are bouncing off of this specific trend line right now as we speak. I think I actually drew it all the way back in November of 2020 in this specific chart, because that's the last time that we drew anything in here. And I think it actually has just held up quite nicely of multiple tests around this level, because the XRP price seems to kind of hang around this 1550 Satoshi mark. A lot of bounces off of that, a lot of them, right? You can see it just time and time again, it bounces off of that level, which is done yet again. And right now it's looking again over on the Bitcoin pair as if there's a lot of juicy 35% or so gains more to come towards this 200 weekly moving average, as that's again what we bounced off of over the last couple of months as well. So it wouldn't be too crazy if XRP gets a little bit of that dominance back versus Bitcoin, as right now, again, proportionally, it is pumping a lot more than Bitcoin is. It is roughly up, let's see here, 8% or so in the last 3 weeks against Bitcoin, which is nice. But yeah, keep this in the back of your head, keep watching it. And that was it for today's little crypto update. If you guys want to trade crypto as well, make sure you check out the links down below for Bybit and BitGet. A lot of cool bonuses for you guys out there. And that was it for right now. See you guys later in another one.